Let's go! 3, 2, 1, planning for takeoff. Welcome, everybody, to the Unprofessional Opinion Podcast. My name is AJ. To my right, my man 100 grand. That's just my saying now. My man 100 grand. JC, how are you, bro?
Good, man.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I sound a lot better. Got a good mic going for a change. Got
Yes, sir.
some wonderful headphones. And everything sounds great. So we're off to a wonderful start to this November. How you? You
great, man.
Great.
Great. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
You just straight up
weeks.
getting with the shits. Oh yeah, it has been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I'm
Fuck.
ready, man. Let's go. Let's get to it.
Why has it been 2? Oh yeah, I went.
Tell us why it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. so this past weekend I went to Howard University's homecoming. That was an experience. It was very, very fun. Poorly organized, if I do say so myself. But it was what I mean. It's having every nigga on the planet standing in one large parking lot for a tailgate is not exactly the best plan, guys. Because Howard University's homecoming is like a homecoming that lots of people from all over come to.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know if you know. I guess I'll give it again for the listeners that don't know. There are a few HBCU homecomings that, like, people just go to because they just be turned up. Howard's homecoming, Hampton's homecoming, Spell House, which is Spelman and Morehouse's homecoming, and GHO, which is the greatest homecoming on earth at North Carolina A&T University. So I was there.
They call it GHO?
Well, yeah, most people, either that or, people call it GHO.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was at Howard's, and, obviously it's a shit ton of people there. And like I said, everybody being in one parking lot is not the greatest of player. He's had got his hand up like we're in a classroom. Okay.
So, because Howard and Hampton are in the same location. They're both in DC, right?
Yeah, the DC area. I think
so
Howard is DC and Hampton is Virginia.
So, like, do they stagger them out? Like, Howard's is one weekend and Hampton's the other weekend? Or, like, do they kind of have them at the same time? The same time, or what's happening?
I believe they stagger. I actually don't know when Hamptons was this year, but I mean, I could only imagine how much of a shit show it would be to have both of those on the same weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was a fun time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself while I was up there. Poorly organized, but it was still a shit ton of fun.
So what you mean they had a bunch of y'all was just standing in the parking lot like that's where all the concerts and stuff were, or this is before all of the concerts activities?
The Friday is when the concerts were.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they had Lil Baby, they had Gunna, and they had a few other artists that performed, and then Saturday was the tailgate, the actual for the game.
Okay.
And for homecomings, at least with niggas, like, you're not going for the game. You're going for the tailgates. And you go and you spend the whole day
and
the halftime show if it's that type of school, that type of situation.
Mm.
And then Sunday was like brunch festivities and whatnot and all that great shit. Yes, niggas and brunch. So yeah. That's how that whole thing went down. But yeah, the concerts were on campus, and then the tailgate was in this large parking lot that was like next to campus.
So like, how does that? So do y'all all get tickets to the game? Like if you go to the
you just go to the tailgate.
So
you have to buy.
You go to the tailgate, like you're automatically in the game.
No, you go to the tailgate. You don't go to the game.
If I was a Howard football player,
yeah,
I'd be mad.
No, but people still go to the games, like older folk who actually like
put my grandbaby in the game.
Yeah, like or not even shit like that. Just like older folk who just don't want to be at the tailgate because there's 6 billion and 7 niggas in one 20 by 20 parking lot or some shit like that. Yeah. So yeah, but great time though. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, some tell me I would never have fun there.
I know for a fact that you would never have fun at any HBCU homecoming.
Nope.
But I realized while I was up there that there was no way in hell that I would be able to graduate from an HBCU, and it would be wholly my fault because it's just so many beautiful women. Like all of them was bad. All
I
of
mean,
it was
real
a
talk
bad
though.
bag,
Like,
so.
shout out to people who graduate from HBCU.
No, like for real. Like that would have been difficult. I would have been
there's a lot of
distracted
temptation.
non-stop. I
A lot
would
of
have
temptation,
been a perpetual junior at an HBCU. Goddamn, that was so beautiful. That shit was nuts. If I tell you, it would have been wholeheartedly my fault. Like I wouldn't been able to blame anyone but myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great time. Really, really, really great time. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
yeah.
You know, I didn't do nothing.
You didn't do that this past the weekend before.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I can get in this bag, man. That's all I'm thinking about now.
Hey, gotta get in that bag. Gotta get in that bag.
The
Never
only thing
forget
I'm
that.
thinking about right now,
Never
man.
forget that. That's
This
all we got.
podcast, my other stuff, you know, that's all I know how to do, man.
I feel you. So I guess that will take us into
There you go.
our relationship topic.
Let's go.
Woo! Because
We
it's
don't
actually
normally talk relationship topics on here.
we haven't
since
talked.
we became unprofessional opinion.
We haven't talked about that at all, really. But this was a moment in time that I just couldn't not talk about this. You
Okay.
know? So we were at, because this actually happened at the Howard Homecoming. So it was me. I was up there with a bunch of my friends up there. We met up with some other friends of friends, women's. It was a great time. So after the tailgate, me and my friend, because a few of our other friends, they were high or drunk or whatever, and they had enough because they were so tired and finna die, so they went home. So it was just me and my friend. You know what? I don't even want to attach a name to this. So
Sue.
let's just call him Homie.
Oh, it's a him. Okay.
Yeah. So my friend, Homie.
Let's call him Juan.
Juan? All right, let's call him Juan. So Juan, interesting thing to know about Juan. Juan he's a pretty cool guy. Pretty chill. He is tall. He is handsome. No,
Right.
homo or anything like that. I mean, he's a handsome dude. I know what a handsome dude looks like. He's handsome, and he respects women particularly well. We'll get back to this later. Now, why will we get back to that? Because of those three things, it makes it very easy for him to get women.
Mm-hmm.
Because off rip, you look, he's tall, he's handsome, and then you talk to him, and oh shit, he's not like a fucking idiot. Take her. Right? Take her.
That's the 1%.
Right. Right. So, we're sitting here with, some of his friends, all women, all beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We go to this Chinese food spot. And we're sitting there, we're just having conversation, and he has his phone out on the table, and it vibrates. And me, naturally, being a distracted human being, I look down, and I see that it is the name of one of our mutual friends. We'll call her Sue. Sue. Okay. So Juan and Sue had been seeing each other for a while, doing things, and yeah. And I just met her through him, and I met a bunch of her friends through him, and all that great stuff. Okay. So we're sitting there at the Chinese spot, chopping it up, having lots of fun, nigging, laughing, being loud, being drunk, being whatever the hell you can think of. And then I see that message, I look down, and so I texted him about it rather than mentioning it out loud, because obviously you don't want to talk about some other women in front of these women. We're trying to make a play on them. So I texted him just like, is she here? Because I was just wondering. I was like, oh, maybe she's texting him to be like, let's link up later or some shit like that. And so I asked if she was here. He was like, nah. And then he sent me a video of this long message that she had sent him. I mean, it was a whole dissertation.
Wait, a video?
Because you could phone record or iPhone,
on the new
on screen iPhone. Record, yeah. So I'm pretty sure you might be able to do it on yours.
Probably not.
I don't know, but he sent me a screen recording of some messages that he had. Oh,
so what is it like? It was like a screenshot.
Yeah, but it's a video.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
That shit's dope.
Okay.
So
that makes screenshots sending a whole lot easier for me.
Mm-hmm. But so we're sitting here, and he shows me this, and basically it's a whole paragraph about her like spilling all of her feelings out about how she has all these feelings for him, and how she wants him, how Sue wants Juan. We gotta make sure we keep those names in there. Mm-hmm. How Sue wants Juan to herself, and all that wonderful shit. And hold on, because I gotta reference these messages just so that
they get your citations right,
just so I can ensure that my intel is correct.
That's right, MLA format right there. Let's go.
Yeah, so it was just like, wow, that's hilarious. And as I was reading this, I could only just sit here and laugh and think about how insane these fucking women are when it comes to these things. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why she's insane. Because if for our female listeners out there, I'm pretty sure you've been in that you may have been in that situation where you just spill your heart out, and then the dude's just like, he LOLs it off or something, and then you get mad and whatever. And I know that you probably would feel a particular way for this woman, because you feel bad for her, because it's just like she's laying her heart on the line to show that she really likes this guy, and you're probably trying to call this guy ain't shit because he's not giving her the things that she wants, which is that relationship or whatever. And he's just like, look, she said that, and then he just didn't respond at first. He he didn't respond for like 2 days to the paragraph. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure y'all just be like, oh, he ain't shit, he's so trash. But she's actually insane, and here's why. Because
wow, that took a turn.
Let's go. We got to go further back. Okay. So this is now. Let's go back to last summer. So Juan and I and you went to Georgia Tech. When Juan graduated, we went to Georgia Tech. Yes, we did.
Do I know Juan?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you know Juan. You know Juan. Yes. Juan. Yes. So, but I can't be liability. We can't be over here spreading these issues. So, Juan went to Georgia Tech, and at the end of the summer, he was planning to move to New York because he was going to be working for Capital One, and he decided that he wanted to throw a little going away shindig at our home. Mm-hmm. So we did that. It was a great time, and it was I was there cooking. I was throwing down, making fried fish for everybody. I was in there, kind of get down. I mean, come on now, come on,
put your foot.
Come on, come on. You know what it is.
All right.
You know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So we in there, we cooking. I finished up, and I decided I want to go and take a little break in my room. And so I get up there, and it's a few of my friends who are already in my room because they wanted to go use the bathroom and whatnot, and they were just in there chilling. So I walk in, I'm like, all right, cool. Sue, who's also at the function with her friends, says she wants to come up and use the restroom as well. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm up here. Let's do it. And then somehow, in this whole process, we got to this conversation about these women wanting certain things from men in terms of having a relationship and all these other things. Mm-hmm. And we got to this topic about talking about certain dudes who were my classmates, and they were just like, how they ain't shit. And so I asked them, I was like, well, how is he not shit? How are all these niggas not shit? And they were just like, oh, because they be playing games or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So eventually it came down to they were ain't shit because they didn't want a relationship with them. Right? Mm-hmm. So then I was straight up said, I was like, y'all can't sit here and say that they ain't shit just because they don't want a relationship with you. I mean, that's just selfish. I mean, he has to want a relationship with you, even if he's straight up told you no, that he doesn't want that. That's not ain't shit. ain't shit is selling the dream. He's been selling the dream. He's been telling you the truth. So then Sue, starts ranting, and I ask her about Juan, because she starts ranting about Juan. I'm like, what do you want from Juan? And she says, a relationship. And I straight up say, point blank, that ain't happening. And he's told you that. It's not happening. And so she goes and she looks sad. And like has her head hanging and whatnot. And I'm like, I mean, that's just the facts of the matter. Like, that's not what he's looking for right now. I mean, you could either, let it go because that's what you want, and clearly y'all don't want the same things, or you can wait it out and see what happens. Apparently, she elected to wait it out and see what happens. It'd bit her in the ass. So now, I say this, that it's insanity, because despite my warnings and despite his warnings, she still elected that she was going to wait there and basically try to change this nigga. Oh, you don't want a relationship now, but you're going to want one later. You're going to get one with me later. I'm going to make that happen. Ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and spill some beans for y'all real quick. I'm going to drop some knowledge for you, give you some bars. If the nigga says he does not want a relationship, there is nothing that you can do that will change that. Period. Like, if that's just not what he wants, then that's just not what he wants. Yes, you can do everything in your power to show that you are girlfriend and wifey material and all these other things. And you can cook for him, and you can fuck him, and you can clean, and all these other things that you think would be, conducive to basically trying to create a relationship. But if he don't want it, why are you there? If he don't want it, and you do, and he tells you this, why are you electing to stay? Why? I need to know. It's pure insanity. It's mental illness. It has to be. Because for you to sit here and get my warning that I gave you a year prior, and then here we are a year later. Keep in mind, he already moved to New York. Did I say New York? New York, whatever. New York. In the time that he moved to New York.
Where is Sue?
Sue is here in Georgia.
Okay.
We're in Atlanta, guys, by the way. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that, but we're in Atlanta.
No, I think we mentioned it like context clues.
Yeah. So he's in New York. Sue is in Atlanta. Between when he left and since then, and what was that? Last weekend at Ours Homecoming? You know how many times they saw each other?
How many? 0.
Once. Man. And they didn't even do anything. The one time that they saw each other was I was there. No, it wasn't in passing. It was our homecoming. Georgia Tech. No, not our homecoming. Georgia Tech's graduation. This past one in like May. It is October. No, not October. It is now November. So in a whole he left in July, and now it is November. What is that? 15 months.
Oh, he left in July of 2017?
He left in July of 2017. Yo. It is now November of 2018. And they saw each other one time in May of 2018. What is 16 that? Months. 16 months. In 16 months, they have seen each other one time. And in that one time, they didn't even do anything. So, how is it that in 16 months, with seeing this person one time, you're still talking about how you want this man to yourself and all of these other things. And it's just like, it has to be pure. And I'm telling you, it has to be mental illness. It's got to be. Because there's simply no way it doesn't make sense. Like, y'all need to understand. Like I've said already, and I'm going to keep saying it. If he don't want it, then you can't fucking make him want it. You have to be willing to walk away. That is the biggest thing. And I will happily say that I may or may not be a hypocrite right now, because JC knows he was my legal and emotional counsel for my last relationship. And I was kind of doing the same thing, but the difference was we were actually in the relationship. Right. And she was saying she wanted these things and clearly acting in another way. So I wasn't paying attention to the actions. And that I will happily admit that I am talking from experience and being low-key hypocritical. But the thing is, like I said, we're already in the relationship. They're not even there.
Nope.
And Juan
They
were never there.
Mm-hmm.
And Juan has specifically said, that is not what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to feel sorry for you after I and Juan gave you the proper warnings and you still waited 16 months. And then when things still didn't go your way, then you're mad, you block them, all these other things. I mean, I just don't understand. Men can't, they're not shit just because we don't want the same things that y'all want. Okay? Like, that's just the facts of it. If he doesn't want a relationship and you do, get the fuck out. What are you waiting for? What? Like, why? 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 Because he's tall? Because he's handsome? Because he's not a fucking idiot? Because he actually, like, legitimately respects women? I understand these things, but if that's not what he wants, you're setting yourself up for failure. She very, very, very clearly set herself up for failure and then failed very hard. I need y'all.
Can I chime in on this?
Yes, go ahead, chime in on that. Because it was just like, I can't believe this. Like, how are we still in this situation? I literally told you it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with both of you. I would not lead you astray. It's not like I don't fuck with you. Mm-hmm. I'm friends with Sue, and I'm friends with Juan as he kicks our equipment.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, I'm friends with you, and I'm friends with Juan. I'm letting you know the things you want from Juan, Sue, are not happening.
Yep.
And yet here we are. What you got to say on that? Please.
You know I'm a huge Nick Saban fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just shut out LSU last night, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tua didn't even play well, and they still, LSU just couldn't do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I bring that up because he was talking to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant that came in and spoke to the team, whatever. And they were just talking. It was him. It was Nick Saban, Kobe Bryant in the office, right? And they were talking about everybody wants to be a beast.
Yes.
Until it's time to do what beasts do.
Right.
And then that's when you put up a shut up, right?
Right.
So you're saying that this is insane. First of all, I have respect for Sue.
Okay.
For putting all of her cards on the table and saying, look, this is how I feel, Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Take it or leave it. This is where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
But what women don't understand is what that is right there, it's equality.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't you have to do that if you want to talk to the girl?
Mm-hmm.
Don't at some point you have to say, look, I want to be exclusive.
Right.
Men have to make that declaration all the time and wait for these sorry hoes. I'm not saying that Sue is a sorry hoe, but I'm saying for women who maybe aren't even worth that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the protocol for what men have to do.
Yes.
So now when a woman has to do it, so does that mean that we get to call you all the names that we want to call you when we do the same thing and you don't want the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that you are the same person that you're calling Juan? You want to be treated like equals.
Hey.
That's the thing. See, you want to be treated like equals. Mm-hmm. I want to treat you like an equal.
Right. That comes with consequences and repercussions.
That's the issue that I have with all these women out here.
Mm-hmm.
In any aspect. The women empowerment stuff, all the stuff we gonna talk about. Y'all keep wanting stuff that all the inequality, social equality stuff out there. Y'all keep asking for stuff and not wanting to give up anything to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you want to get in a relationship with Juan, then you gonna have to give something up.
Right.
You can't just keep saying I want this, but when it comes time to do with the beast give up stuff. The beast sacrifice.
But here's the thing: Juan is clearly telling you it's not happening.
I understand.
What are you giving up at this point?
I understand that. I mean, right now.
I understand what you're saying in general.
She's giving up her pride. She has to put. I mean, that for her to write that out. That you have to put your pride to the side. Like you have to humble yourself to do some stuff like that. I can't do that.
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm saying I got respect for her for even doing that. Because a lot of women won't even do that.
Won't even do what?
Like if they want to be in a relationship with a dude, they won't just say, "Hey, this is what it is." You know, they'll just sit there and they'll flip their hair or they'll give you the look. I don't know what that means. Write that down for me.
Be verbal.
Right.
Verbal.
Let's use our words.
Oral communication.
Right.
Okay?
Let's use our words for that. So, I mean, I don't have no sympathy for her.
Me neither, because I gave her the
word.
word. I gave her the word. It's mainly the fact that not only did she, because I mean, look, we live in a society where lots of women and people in general, I'm not going to even leave it to women, where they just don't pay attention to the signs. Mm-hmm. They don't pay attention to the signs at all.
Nope.
And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I mean, that's just the norm. But when as someone who, and I'm not going to even, I wasn't biased. Like I said, I'm cool with both of y'all. Both of y'all are my homies. Mm-hmm. But I have to give y'all the truth. I have to give you the truth, Sue.
That's
Sue,
what is at war here.
It is not happening with one. After I've sat here and gave you exactly what you need, the information that you need to get the fuck out of there before shit went left like it did. Mm-hmm. And now here we are, shit that went left, and now you mad.
I hear you. I'm telling you.
It just doesn't make sense.
There's a war out here, and it's on truth.
Like the warnings,
the
warnings could not have been any more clear, including mine. I verbally said exactly that ain't happening. I said those words exactly, and I remember she looked down and looked sad, and all the other girls in the room were just sitting there like, some of them were just flabbergasted when I said, "Hey, just because he don't want the same shit that you want doesn't make him not shit. That just means you fucking."
I told you, because
like,
I keep
be fucking
tell you,
like,
everybody thinks that males come with pride, that we have pride.
We do.
We ain't got pride. That is a drop in the water compared to a woman's pride.
I mean, true.
Like, women have way more pride about themselves than men do, because we constantly have to put it to the side to get the girl. Mm-hmm. So, you know, at some point that burden becomes a little. I don't want to do that second set, so I'm going to drop the weight. You see what I'm saying?
And I still got a third. Fuck this.
I'm going to drop the rate. So our pride gets chipped at to where it's not as bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you have some people who literally just do not care about rejection because their pride is low. Doesn't mean their confidence is low. Difference between confidence and pride. But their pride is low. So you can put that pride to the side. I can go get what I want. Or you said, no, I'm cool with that. Because
I ain't going to lie. My pride has been super fucked. And that's okay.
They sniping your pride.
Oh, they sniping that shit. So, I mean, look. They are coming. Okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, speaking of warning signs, let's go ahead and get into this. You had something to say about financial literacy?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Oh man, we really finna sit here and rant. Okay, so
talk to him.
I got a few questions for you.
Come on.
If you had to choose between $50,000 and a 15-minute conversation with Jay-Z, what would you choose?
The 15-minute conversation with Jay-Z.
Why?
Because that's way more valuable than $50,000.
Why?
Because Jay-Z has made more than $50,000.
Okay.
And I want to know how Jay-Z gets his money.
Now, Jay-Z probably would have told you, why didn't you take the $50,000 so that you could go invest that? You know what's better than strip clubs?
Right, credit.
I
got you.
2 years later, it's worth $8 million. 2 years later, it's worth $10 million. I can't wait to give this to my
But see, here's the thing about me, though. I already know how to invest that.
Right. So you're different. Different. But for the regular, just somebody who just regular nigga, probably should be choosing $50,000.
Because you wouldn't know what to ask Jay-Z.
Right.
If you
now,
got 15 minutes
if you had to choose between $70,000 and an 850 credit score for a regular nigga, what do you choose?
You might want to give me that. You might want to give me that 70 racks. For a regular dude, because they'll no do no credit. You know
right. So now, this whole debate was going on the internet, and it pretty much came down on Twitter, and it pretty much came down to that. People were on there saying, "Hey, between $70,000 and an 850 credit score, I'm choosing the 850 credit score." And it was like the dumbest reasoning ever. They were just like, it's really stupid shit. Like, can you get a Ferrari with $70,000 or can you get it with an 850 credit score? I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. It was some other people who were saying, Yeah.
So first of all, if I gave you $7,000 right now, why would you want to go get a Ferrari?
Point exactly.
Okay.
All right. Then there were some other people who were talking about on that same topic.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, why would you need a credit score if you have the cash to go and buy it outright? No. We're not talking about specifically buying the car. Like just in general, what is the point of going and getting something on credit if you have the cash to buy it outright?
Right.
Because credit is literally nothing but a basis of how well you pay your shit off and how much of your credit you actually use and blah 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 blah. What do you need to have this credit for? Like if you have the money to just go ahead and buy some shit outright.
Mm.
Some dumbass came along and was just like, well, you can't just go buy a car outright from the dealership with cash. And we were just like,
Yo.
are you fucking serious? And they were just like, yeah, they won't give it to you straight up. I mean, with cash. And they're just like, so you mean to tell me that they are selling something in American dollars and you can't go buy it with American dollars unless your credit, which is not American dollars, is good? Do you know how sickening it was for me to read that? You mean to tell me you think you can if a car costs $10,000, you can't get it if you have the $10,000 if your credit is trash? What? What? Are you serious right now?
I mean,
people really are. There are people out here who really think that you can't buy things with cash value with your own cash because of something that is a non-cash value is not up to par. And keep in mind, credit is actually relative. You know, you actually can like go and buy a better credit score. For the people who don't know that, there's an agreement in all of your credit card statements that the banks know that, hey, you might not be able to pay that shit, so we have to go work something out so that you can go and pay the shit off for pennies on the dollar and actually fix your credit score. People don't know that.
Right.
Because they don't take the time to go look. So for all the fucking idiots out there who believe that you can't go buy, I mean, imagine going to Walmart and they say that you can't purchase your groceries because your credit score is a 500 and you need a 650 minimum to purchase your groceries. Do you realize how fucking insane that sounds?
Oh, yeah, that sounds crazy.
Do you really understand how insane that sounds?
That's the point, man, because that's actually a good topic because the lottery was 1.6 billion, and everybody was playing that thing. Literally, everybody played it. They said all of the possible combinations were played. There was somebody that bought $1,300 worth of lottery tickets.
And
now, obviously, probably didn't even have a number. One number.
Terrible.
That's why you can't give everybody the codes. That's why I'm a proponent of not letting everybody vote. Because you have people who take that concept, that line of thinking, and apply it to politics. And that's who's deciding who runs our country. Like, think about, like, we let that dude talk about economic policy.
Jesus Christ. This was a woman who said that, actually. That shit was crazy.
Whoever it was.
Just that, and that shit was crazy as hell.
That's why are we paying you more money? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that shit was insane. Damn, we've really spent 30 minutes sitting here ranting. That is fucking crazy.
Of course.
But, I mean, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Especially, like, when it comes to the Jay-Z thing, because Jay-Z would tell you, why didn't you take the 50 grand so you could go and invest that? Like, that's what... I guarantee that's probably what Jay-Z would have said. Like,
I mean, that's cool.
Like, I mean, that's just the facts of the matter. Like, if he's going to sit here and rap about credit, he's obviously going to tell you, hey, you should have took the 50 grand, the 50K to go invest. I'll tell you how to invest, but you had the resources right there, and the internet is free. You could have figured out very easily how to go invest that.
Right.
You can't invest 850 credit score. That just means you can pay your bills on time, folks. That's all that means. That's literally all the credit scores mean, is that it is an ability to pay shit back.
Now, speaking of that, what if it meant something else?
Well, what if it meant something else?
So, in China,
there
is a thing called social credit score.
What the fuck does that mean? Because they're communists. So, how the hell does that work?
Well, basically, what happens is you have people that rate you. So it's kind of like a countrywide neighborhood watch, right? So if you don't let a pedestrian cross the street,
Oh, they go thumbs down you.
they take away certain points.
Mm-hmm.
And like once you get to a certain level, they blacklist you, and you can't get loans. You can't do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was this guy, I forget what he did, but he was put on this blacklist, and he was a small business owner. He was, he lost his business, so he couldn't pay his loans because he had lost his business. The economy went.
He lost his business because of the social shit, or
No,
just in general.
Just in general.
Oh, I was about to say, what the hell?
Bad turn in the economy. He
Okay.
couldn't pay his bills, lost his business.
Right.
And he was put on this blacklist of people, and he was trying to go and like get his business back, and he couldn't do it because he was on this list. Like literally, he was on a billboard.
Really?
And they was like, "Do not trust this guy."
Wow.
Because like there's not a concept of credit score in China. So you could give loans and like if you didn't pay it back, like nothing happened. So they was like, "Oh, okay." Like
so this is their answer to that.
Right, to do it socially. Like if you do certain social things that are incorrect, people mark you down, and once you get on this list, like you can only get loans up to a certain level.
Man.
Like you can't take the fastest route of transportation to get from one city to the other. Like he was trying to get to Beijing from wherever he was, and there's a speeding train, and then there's a regular train. He couldn't buy a ticket to get on the speeding train. He had the money,
but because it's social
because he's on this list.
Oh my god!
He had to buy a ticket on the slower train.
This is an assassination of real niggas. If I've ever
He
heard
couldn't
one.
get on the plane. Like that's what like.
Wow.
But so I'm always thinking about how do you apply this to America?
That would be terrible here in America.
I mean, do you know how many negative social credit scores would be out there?
I mean, it would that would do nothing but enforce political correctness in the highest standard. Because I'll give you an example of this. So, and we talked about this. Mm-hmm. So a few days ago, it was Halloween. We went out and we went to this place, got a bunch of drinks, and the place only allowed for checks to be split up into four separate checks. And it was like 12 of us there. So then one of my coworkers, who was like a little higher up above us, he just went ahead and like paid the shit. And he said, "Don't worry about it." So me, listening to him, I was like, okay, I ain't gonna worry about it. And then everybody else started feeling, you should pay him, and he didn't really mean that. I'm just like, but he just said don't worry about it. So what the fuck are we worrying about? He said don't worry about it. It was just like, oh my God, shame on you. And then that would have been a situation I would have been marked down by everybody in that bitch.
Well, I don't think it's...
Simply for listening. Nah, I think that... would it be like...
I don't think it's like everybody rates you. I think there's like certain people who that's all they do.
Oh, they're being hired by the government?
That's my understanding of it. It's like...
That's terrible.
I mean, it's China.
I mean, how would that even work?
But that's...
It would literally have to be like millions. I mean, there's a billion of those, of folks out there. They would have to be like at least hundreds of thousands of those people on a daily basis just monitoring everything.
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, it comes down to, of course you have like your economic stuff. So like if people are defaulting on their loans, I don't need I can just go to the banks and get the people already doing that.
Right.
Like that's part of it.
Okay.
And then like the social stuff is another part of it.
There was a Black Mirror episode on this.
And
where it was like everybody like was rating everyone and all that shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like that actually, because that was the example that was mentioned, like that kind of thing.
Shit.
And I'd be like, yo, that
would be trash.
But I mean, it makes people. It would. Well, I mean, there's good and bad to it. I mean, it makes people more aware of how they're doing because they have to. Because I I can't get a home loan because socially I'm a bad person.
I mean, that.
Like that makes you not be a bad person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like.
But it's like it doesn't allow
away the organicness of relationship with people,
right?
Because you're always concerned about what you're going to say.
It'd be different if you were a bad person, like you're a good person because you're a good person, and you're a good person because you're not allowed to be a bad person. Like that's different. Like those are entirely different things. Like it's a facade versus being genuine.
That's true.
Damn. I hope. I don't know how that would work here.
That'd be crazy.
Because because people are so fucking sensitive now. So it's just like, how do we determine what is socially acceptable and what's not using these people who monitor?
Well, does that make people more empathetic? Because if we're talking about everybody being able to rate everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody being able to rate everybody would be an absolutely fucking awful plan.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
But I'm saying it would be more... People would be more empathetic before you give somebody a negative score because you like, all right, like, I mean, if I was to say some stuff like that, like, I don't want to be giving people negative scores, so that they won't give me a negative score.
Right.
So then it's like, hey, I might let that slide a little bit.
Right. So then that's why it comes down to the monitors. And I think it's got to be like a proper vetting process for who they are.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's just like, and then that goes into, well, what are their personal biases about all of this? You got somebody who, has like alt-right ties or some shit, and then you got someone who's like super left. Obviously, the positive and negatives that they give to people are going to be wildly different. I mean,
that's true.
So it's just like, it would have to come down to how they vet that shit. And here in America, we probably the most sensitive country on the fucking planet at this point. So
I mean,
it would be. Yeah, I don't know how that would work here.
If I should just go ahead and get into it, but I'm trying to wait for the perfect topic to come up to get into it.
Do it. This is a perfect topic, I'm sure.
Because we live in the I'm living my truth.
Yes. Yes.
And that's I hate that when people say that.
You hate those two words together, my truth. Or any pronoun truth.
Actually, we'll get into that at the end of the show.
Okay.
I just leave that cliffhanger out there.
Okay.
Well, we got. Oh yeah. So, since we're talking about financial literacy, credit scores, I get paid every other week.
Yes.
Do you get paid every other week?
I do indeed.
Why?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
What if you got paid every day? Would you be more motivated to work if you got paid every single day?
Does my pay change every single day? Like, or is it still a salaried position? You just get paid every day.
Right. So take your bi-weekly check
and divide it by 10.
Right. You get paid like at the end of every day. You would get a check for how much for that 8-hour day. Would that make you more motivated to work?
Not really.
No.
I mean, because if I'm getting the same amount of money and I still got the same bills I gotta pay, like, I don't really know. I don't really think it would. I mean, it depends. If like the pay fluctuates based on like the amount of work that or the type of work that I did that day, then maybe. But that may motivate you to do better work to get better pay at the end of the day. And we've already seen that. I mean, hourly workers or not, well, no, we haven't seen that before. we don't see as incentivized daily pay. I feel like that would definitely work
for hourly workers.
Yeah, or at least if you're gonna be paid every day, like your pay depends on these certain KPIs for every day, and if you fulfill those, then one day you may be getting $200, and then the other day when you was trash, you getting $50, or some shit like that.
Right. But
in terms of getting paid every day, I don't know. I don't really know if that would motivate me to do better on a daily basis. What about you?
I think it's very interesting that, I mean, me, probably not, But I think for a lot of people that just kind of float throughout the day, like that second Friday is a really good day for a lot of people. Because they know they get paid.
Yeah.
So if you knew that you were getting paid every day, like how
you think it would be like just a better day for everybody in general,
it would just
knowing that you're getting money.
You would just come to work with a better attitude. Like, okay, like
I agree with that.
You know what? Like I may not be where I want to be right now, but like I know that for this day's work, I'm getting what I earned. I don't know. Nobody ever questions why, and that's basically what this is all about. This unprofessional opinion, like nobody ever asks why. Everybody just reacts.
Yeah.
Let's ask why.
I mean, well, yeah, because when you think about it, like, because there are like different pay periods, and I could imagine that the more often you get paid, the better you would feel. Because like I have a friend who was getting paid like on a monthly basis, and he fucking hated that shit. You got like one check lasts the whole month.
Right.
I mean, well, I think that would probably be better if you want to like get bills and shit out of the way, like at the beginning of the month. Like for instance, that would work really well when you got to pay rent. Because like you just get your lump sum and you just pay your rent off rip, versus having to split it up across checks or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But then there's like bi-monthly where people get paid on the 1st and the 15th rather than every other Friday, and that actually like gives you a little bit of extra money over the year because like you're getting, I think like 24 checks instead of 26. Right. So you have to spread those over the next time, and then like there's weekly pay. I'm pretty sure that works pretty well because every Friday is a great Friday. But daily, I feel like that would give a lot of people more incentive to just blow their shit though.
I mean,
on the daily,
it possibly could. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, that's my qualm with corporate America. Everybody knows that there is a set of rules, but nobody thinks to question why those set of rules are even there. Like nobody questions where 8 to 5 comes from.
I've always wondered how
it's just you're there, so you do it.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody ask?
I've always wondered where the concept of time itself came from. I mean, it's because this shit just happens. Like we just so happen to say okay, 24 hours because that's what we see from sun up to next sun up, and we just called that hours. Like where the fuck did all that come from? And then like 8 to 5 is definitely, that is 100%, that is a corporate creation, I believe. So
I don't know, man.
That is something that I have wondered about though. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that one. Damn.
All right.
Okay.
But speaking of somebody who's not getting paid bi-weekly, monthly, I don't know when this is getting paid.
Who?
Darius Baisley. For those of y'all who don't know, Darius Baisley is highly recruited high school basketball player, or was. Committed to Syracuse, and said, you know what? I'm going to go to the G League instead of going to college. He was the first person to SQ college basketball for the G League. He did. And then he decided, I'm not even going to go to the G League. I'm just going to take the year to train for the draft.
He did.
Next year.
Right.
And he signed with Clutch Sports, LeBron James' agency, and he got a $14 million endorsement deal from New Balance that came with a $1 million internship. So he's going to be an intern at New Balance for the next year, and he's going to make $1 million to do it.
Oh, but he's making $1 million in that year?
Yes.
I thought he was doing something around like a $200,000 a year over the next 5 years type deal.
He's not going to be an intern for 5 years.
Well, I know that, but I read somewhere that he's going to be making like, I think $200K in the next 5 years when he gets drafted or some shit like that. I don't really know. I guess I'm going to have to do some more research on that. But I mean, he's the $1 million intern.
Right. He's making $1 million internship and this is my issue with why college athletes, one, shouldn't be paid, two, the G League shouldn't be an alternative. Because you have situations like this happen. Now, I'm sure that he's going to get information about how the shoe industry works.
Yeah. He'll learn
while
plenty.
he's doing this.
No, he'll learn a lot. As an intern, he'll actually learn quite a bit.
Right. But let's not get it twisted.
Mm-hmm.
Before he gets the $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to get shoes, clothes. He's going to be working out with a trainer because he's going to be testing the New Balance athletic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Quote unquote testing.
Because they haven't had basketball shoes since like the 90s. So
he's going to get all that before the $1 million.
Right.
So how... Like, I'm more concerned about these kids' livelihoods than I am about their professional aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
How are you teaching Darius Baisley how to conserve money if you're giving him $1 million and you're giving him all the resources outside of the $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
And the incentive-laden deal for having done absolutely nothing.
Right.
Is $14 million. You're giving him $14 million because he did what exactly? What did he do to earn that $14 million?
True. I mean, I think it's really just going to be off of potential and what he does in the league.
Exactly, but we're assuming that he even gets to the league.
Right. I'm saying if he gets to the league and he becomes like an all-star, like this is going to be like a big deal.
Right. I mean, it's gonna be the Steph Curry Under Armour thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nobody wanted. I mean, they would love to have Steph, but Under Armour lucked up in getting Steph.
Yeah.
Right. Like we know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's kind of my thing. Like I think that's a dangerous precedent to set. That you're gonna have a lot of kids in high school who haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
Other than dominate kids that they're supposed to dominate.
Right. I mean, he's a 6'9", with 6'9.5".
Right. He's 6'9", 6'10".
Guard.
I mean, yeah, forward wing.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's talented.
No, he's nice. He's nice.
But like, even in the setting with the other All-Americans, he didn't stand out.
Right.
You know, so like,
and I think
we don't know how good he's going to be.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing that when it comes to. I think that's probably the biggest argument when it comes to going to college versus playing elsewhere or doing the G League or something like that. It's always going to be about. To me, the biggest proponent is the folks you're playing, the competition out there, how you do against people who are as good or better than you are.
Right, and I've always been a proponent of if you don't want to go to college for basketball, go overseas. Because overseas, they make you earn everything that you get.
Right. And I mean, those are all grown men out there. Like, you're playing 24, 25 through 30-year-old men.
Right. And you have to learn the language. Like, you have to learn another language. You have to understand how to live on your own, how to take the money you're given and spend it wisely. Like, that's an overall life experience.
Yeah.
And you get to play basketball and you get to get better at basketball.
Right. But a lot of prospects out of high school don't necessarily have there been some who just go straight overseas other than Emmanuel Mudiay?
I mean, Brandon Jennings was the first.
Okay.
Mudiay, I mean, obviously the Ball brothers.
And then what? I think Ferguson. I forget.
Yeah, Terrence Ferguson.
But it hasn't been a lot of them who have done that. I mean, and some of them actually turned out, pretty good. I know Brandon Jennings came back and he was busting that ass for a little while.
Right. But I'm saying, I'm now not worried about Brandon Jennings taking the money that he's made and after his career is over, if it already is over, making that money last, because there's no pension plan in the NBA. There's no 401k.
Well, yeah, because you're making millions of dollars. They're just like,
that's what I'm saying. But then you have a lot of athletes that end up broke because they weren't taught how
ESPN Films presents.
Right. They weren't taught how to take that money and make it last the rest of their lives.
Right.
So, like, this situation here, like, you're going to have a lot of high school kids saying, like, look, I was better than Darius Baisley was. He was the $1 million intern. I got to get 1.2.
Right.
With inflation.
With inflation, okay.
I
got to get 1 million euros.
Right, like, I gotta get 1 million British pounds.
Right.
Or something like that. So, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, shout out to him and Clutch Sports. I mean,
it's a hell of a deal to be brokered.
Making that deal
for sure.
happen.
Like that more so speaks to the
Right.
abilities of Rich Paul. Like
Mm-hmm.
to be able to broker that deal for someone who ain't done shit yet, really. Because all he's done really is just he's been a McDonald's All-American. I mean, yeah, he has plenty of potential to be way more than that, but that's all he's done thus far.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's a hell of a deal for Rich to be able to strike up. I mean, shout out to him.
Yeah.
So,
Moving on.
Bad segue.
It was. I didn't really think that segue through.
It's all good. Where we headed?
So by 2022,
Ah.
robots are going to be taking people's jobs. They said by
robots are already taking people's jobs.
But they said by 2022, the workflow will be a 50-50 split between humans and robots. And this is not just manufacturing jobs. We're talking accountants. We're talking lawyers.
Yeah, like doing menial tasks like retrieving files and shit like that. Like they're going to replace the intern and have a robot do it.
Well, no, they're going to replace the accountant and have a robot do it.
Oh, the accountant? Actually, oh, shit.
Because the accountant can, bookkeeping, I'm pretty sure robots can do it a whole lot faster than accountants can.
Okay.
So, and with the lawyer, it's more like, okay,
you can't replace a lawyer.
I have this case. Well, it's like the discovery part of being a lawyer. Mm-hmm. So let me get all of the relevant case files from back in the day.
Right.
Let me go through all this.
Mm-hmm.
But I bring this topic up to say, having gone through this from experience, companies got to step up their training game. Like I think they said by 2022, everybody's going to have to get some form of retraining. Yeah. Everybody in the workforce.
Because these jobs that are being displaced by these robots, like they're not going to put you elsewhere.
Right, they're not transferable skills. So.
Yeah, like
you have to relearn how to.
The biggest skill that will probably be trained up on is like coding and programming, because it's just like that. Well, that's something like it's actually pretty hard shit to do, and the training for training people who you already have on board. Probably gonna be cheaper than hiring somebody coming out of college who already is like good at coding, because they'll probably demand a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
but that also means that the companies have to invest in retraining people.
Right.
But
I'm saying like
a lot of companies,
I think it's like they're saying the training would be cheaper than hiring someone.
Right, but the companies aren't really investing in retraining.
Oh.
So then it's going to cost a lot more.
Yeah. Because I could walk in and say I want $200K for this programming issue because I'm the only person in this bitch who can do it. So.
Right. Well, and not even that, it's a lot of people are going to be out of work too.
Right.
Because you're not getting retrained, and then I got to figure out how to get robots in the system because my competitors are doing their work a whole lot faster because they have robots.
For cheaper.
And their people know how to interact with the robots. We don't know how to interact with the robots.
Right.
We have to retrain now.
So
we should have been retraining in 2018.
Right. We changed up our assembly line. We have 50 people and they have 10 robots and one person to fix the 10 robots.
Right.
So.
And I say all this to just put it out there to the people.
Mm-hmm. Get better.
Sharpen your toolkit, man. Sharpen those skills. Learn some new skills. Mm-hmm. Because this is real.
But now this makes me ask an interesting question. How do you feel like this is going to affect the number of people who get more and more interested in the arts? Because you hear about robots and whatnot where you're talking about menial tasks, and obviously robots can't replace people who have like a complex combination of skills in their jobs, like a lawyer. You can be able to put a robot as being a lawyer or being a CEO or running your business or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like it's always going to be like predictable tasks. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel like that's going to change when people realize that, and then they go into the arts, which is also something that it requires a complex combination of skills that is not predictable and can't be done by robots. Is that going to like? I feel like that's going to increase the people who are going to be doing that type of work.
I kind of already feel like there's already too many people trying to be in the arts.
Oh, okay,
because I mean, only a certain number of people can really be in the arts and be good at what they do.
Right.
In the arts. So as far as the interest, I don't really think it'll go up as much. If anything else, I think that's a good question.
I know. And so I guess it really just depends on if it comes down to a situation where the robots are replacing people and the people aren't getting retrained, what do they do? Outside of training themselves up on shit that robots can't do, like programming and being a lawyer, and where do those people go now?
Well, I think it's gonna sound like I'm backtracking on the answer, but I think the answer to that question is actually in the arts, but not being in the arts. It's taking that point, because what a robot can only do what it's programmed to do.
Right.
Humans, we have a level.
I mean, we reprogram ourselves on the daily.
Right, but also we have the ability to be creative. So then it comes to taking what you learn, the concepts from the arts, and applying it to what you already know how to do. So that's how you retrain yourself. And don't worry, I got the answer.
True.
I have it.
I
know exactly what to do.
I mean, hey.
I'm ready for that.
I mean, hey, you gotta give yourself.
That's all I can give you. I can only give the listeners that right now because it's still in the works. But just know that I have the answer. JC has the answer.
Yeah. But yeah, because that's gonna be very interesting come 2020, and everybody realized, oh, it wasn't the Mexicans. It was actually these companies.
Speaking of these companies,
yeah,
let's go ahead and get into it, man.
What's up?
Google walkout.
Google walked out.
20,000 employees just decided to get up and walk out of Google.
For the people who don't know, that's like 20% of their company actually.
Because of the sexual misconduct, harassment allegations, whatever is going on at Google at the top, they all walked out. Now my question is, did they walk back in?
I don't know. I mean, like,
I don't. Did you walk out and then walk back in? Because at that point, then your protest didn't mean a whole lot to me.
Well,
I'm assuming that
I will.
Y'all didn't just call it a day. Like, you walked back in, right?
Then I will go and refer to the internet for the answers. Please hold. But
that's when everything. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and commend the organizers because they did in like 10 different countries.
Yes.
It
was pretty widespread.
To be able to put something like that together is definitely commendable. But I just want to know that once you guys walked out and you guys were in the streets protesting, did y'all then go back to work? Did y'all put that down as your lunch break? What's happening here? Because if y'all just did it on your lunch break, then like that, is that really a protest? Because like if everybody was just like 12-1, all right, it's time to get back to work. Like that's, like that. Like I'm not gonna count that as an actual protest if that's what happened.
Oh man. Well, maybe it was just like we'll walk out until these certain things are changed. I don't even know if that was the case. I just don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't like it. Like y'all all got up and walked out. But I mean, like there's still work to do. Like
look, they produced a list of demands.
Okay.
For changing how Google handles sexual harassment, including ending its use of private arbitration in such cases. Because what had happened was, according to this, Google, over the past 2 years, has fired 48 people for sexual harassment. And they had published that they fired 48 people for sexual harassment with no exit packages. But apparently they paid millions of dollars in exit packages for these people to leave without saying anything about it. And so I think that was the reason for it. And so they were saying, hey, in the privacy and let us know, did this person get fired and did they receive an exit package? And then they also asked for, transparency on those reports, further disclosures of salaries and compensation, an employee representative on the company board, and a chief diversity officer who could speak directly to the board. Those are their demands.
Wait a minute. See y'all, you Google people.
What?
Y'all messing up now. What are we talking about? Transparency with salaries and compensations. For the people that get fired.
Well, let me go ahead and keep reading. Let's see. I mean, it said Google had treated female workers inequitably over time. Others were outraged that Google had paid Andy Rubin, the creator of Android mobile software, a $90 million exit package, even after the company concluded that a harassment claim against him was credible. So I think they were saying that mainly in the regards to the female workers part about them being paid less than men.
No, but are we talking about like the... So
I think further disclosure of salaries and compensation, they've been specifically saying
for the people who've been fired. Like, what was their exit?
Maybe
because
I don't know. I don't. It doesn't say that specifically.
About counting other people's money.
I
don't care what you get. What you negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That main event, Android, $90 million. That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you did. Like that. That sounds about right. Like.
What do I do at Google? I work hard every day so the company can afford $90 million payouts to execs who sexually harass my coworkers.
Exactly.
Now,
is that not in your offer letter? Like, yeah.
Do you think that people who are accused and found guilty of sexual harassment on the job deserve or should get those exit packages of being paid this large amount of money to get the fuck out of there?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if I fire you, like a severance, like first of all, if it's an executive, like once you sign the letter, a severance package is already in the contract. So like I don't think they may not want to. Going forward, they might want to put a clause in there that says if you get fired for sexual harassment, we're not obligated to pay you. But before that, nobody really gave two riffs that this was going on.
I think I found a miniature list. An end to forced arbitration, which is what I said. I think basically like privacy on the issue. I mean, I think people deserve to know this person was harassing folks. Don't fuck with them. All right. A commitment to end pay and opportunity inequity. A publicly disclosed sexual harassment transparency report. Okay. A clear, uniform, globally inclusive process for reporting sexual misconduct safely and anonymously. Man, I can't.
Well, see, but here's the thing with all the transparency in the reports. What is going to be in those reports? That this person was accused of sexual assault, or if this person was fired because of sexual assault? Because if you're saying you're accused and it turns out to not be true, now the whole company knows that you allegedly harass people when you don't.
Right.
So like,
I would think that it would be if they got fired for that, then the report as to how it all went down. I think all of that would be in the report.
Why would you want to know that if the person no longer works at the company?
I mean, maybe because of the exit packages that they were talking about. Like, they want to know, hey, are y'all paying this person in the process of getting them the fuck out of the paint?
Right, and what I'm saying is that was the fact that they're paying them was probably decided way before the whole sexual misconduct thing was even a deal. Because I know most executives, they sign on the dotted line of being executive. It comes with, if we let you go, there's a severance package that you get. So like, I don't think they're like, this is not hush money. Like, right. I think some of this is I'm contractually obligated to give you a severance package because I'm firing you. I'm letting you go.
Right.
So now,
do you get a severance package if you're fired? not necessarily like let go or like we have to let you go. Here's your severance package. Like, do you? I don't know if you get a severance package.
I don't know.
Fired.
I don't know if I think regular people don't. But, okay. You know, executive compensation. I would have to talk to an executive.
Right.
But I think executives that might be how it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Like if stuff doesn't work out, like
bye.
You can leave, but like you know, you're not gonna leave empty-handed.
Right.
You know.
Thank you for your services.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like that might be it. And you know, I don't know if because a lot of people they resign, right? They resign. Right. That's the official term that they use, even though we know what that means.
Like, we're getting you out the paint. You can either get fired or resign.
Right, and I think upon resignation, that's when the severance package kicks in.
Right.
That could be it, too. But, yeah, I just want to know that, you know, they did that. I mean, I'm assuming that Google didn't immediately meet all those demands.
I mean, I don't know.
So, I mean, that's like, are they still out in the street? Like, are they going to be at work Monday? or what? Like...
I don't know. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on this. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, from Singapore to
but shout out to the organizers. I mean, that takes a lot.
To do that in 10 countries is great.
I mean, shit, 40 plus offices around the world.
That's what I'm saying. From New
to get 20% of the company to get the fuck out.
But see, I want to know what's happening with the other 80% though.
They
like I just figured, you know, it's the financial analyst one is just sitting there like, where is everybody going right now?
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got like everybody probably like on the lower levels heard about it, and it was just like you can either choose to participate or not. Some people were probably like, either I don't agree with this, or it's a bad look, or whatever the case. And
or it's like I have a meeting at 11. Like what?
Right.
Like.
Or that. I mean, hey,
you know, that's depends. What I'm saying. Like, did they just start like moving around meetings or like?
I mean, it can't.
What was the sign to? You know?
I don't know.
Like, I don't necessarily agree with just completely disrupting the business day for that.
Yeah, I have to disagree, but
I mean, like, I feel what you're saying, like but I'm saying like. You know, at some
because that's the point of the protest, to disrupt what's going on to get where you're trying to get. So that's why we got to keep an eye on this to see if these demands are met. Because if the demands are met, then it's a successful protest.
Right, but I'm just saying that in terms of, you know, your fellow coworkers who aren't going to walk out. Like if y'all have a team meeting at 11 and he the only one in there. And he don't know where everybody is. He pinging everybody on Skype for business. Ain't nobody answering.
But I'm pretty sure everybody knew about this. So they're just like, hey, if you got meetings and shit, like, be prepared to not have certain folks.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to know was the proper communication given to everybody.
Right.
That like, you know, when the guy shows up and he's just looking around in the conference room and ain't nobody there.
Right.
Like, what is he doing?
Okay, I feel you. It's like, guys, I didn't check my email today. Did I
miss something?
I thought that was spam. It said from an external client, so I thought it was spam.
That's what I'm saying. So from Singapore to the South Pacific. Well, Singapore's already in the South Pacific.
Yeah, I believe Singapore is in the South Pacific.
What's happening with these planes?
But yeah, hey guys, why do planes keep crashing in the fucking South Pacific? Every time we look up, it's something with some planes going on in the South Pacific. And I don't know what I haven't read all the stories, but it's literally always something going on with some planes in the South Pacific. So, I mean, one, what the hell is down there? Two, who be on these planes that's not being reported? Because, I mean, there could be some larger conspiracy there or whatever. I mean, look, just think about that. Go ahead.
No, I gotta
say it.
This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say it.
Go ahead.
So I'm assuming that let's say that some of these countries aren't the most developed nations.
LOL. Okay.
Right. So.
I feel like I know where this is gonna go.
So
go ahead.
You know, what if they plays
just trash?
No, I'm thinking like what. I'm thinking that somebody's just shooting these planes down.
Really?
I think that somebody down, like there's a group of people down there. There's some sort of militia
That's just
taking these things out the sky.
Damn.
And I'm saying that, let's go back. Right? So Pearl Harbor happened. The U.S. comes back over the South Pacific, and they start lighting that stuff up. And I think it's some militia down there. They don't really have internet. They don't know. They don't really know.
They still think the war is going on.
They don't know what's going on. So they sit there like, this is not happening to us.
Hell to Japan.
They sitting there like, we are not Hiroshima.
Oh, man.
And they just knocking them things down.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And they looking at the iPhones. They're like, yo, what is this?
Wow.
This is crazy.
Wow.
That's my little theory.
That's your theory? There are old war criminals shooting down planes.
I think there's some people that still think
from the Great War.
There's still people like, yo, until we get a surrender notice.
Oh my God.
We still locked and loaded.
And even then, I don't believe it.
Right.
My emperor wouldn't have surrendered like that.
That's what I'm saying. And then Axis powers, we don't go down like that.
We don't go down like this, bitch. LMAO.
That may be happening.
From
the South Pacific to Russia.
I mean, hey, hopefully these planes won't fucking
So
crash.
Trump is leaving the Russian nuke deal. That started under
Obesus. Well, no, this wasn't. What? Yeah, this was
way before. This is
INF.
This is Cold War.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, that's
this one.
Reagan and Gorbachev. My
Right.
bad.
So Reagan, we were in some sort of nuke deal for the last 30 years, and Trump was like, we good.
I mean, sounds about right. I mean, everybody been developing nukes. Come on.
But see, no, I hear that, but
I think what wasn't their agreement is that specifically in Europe, like they're not allowed to house mid-range nukes.
Yeah,
or house and develop
like
mid-range nukes.
And I
in
think
Europe.
the reason why Trump is leaving it is because he doesn't think, or this is what's being reported, that he doesn't think Russia is living up to their bargain, their end of the deal.
Right.
So he's like, well, you're not living up to your end. I mean,
right.
We got fake money to spend on the military.
Fake money.
We're
in debt.
We ain't had money, but
right.
I mean, ain't nobody coming to get it from us.
Right.
So I mean, so we can print more money to spend on the military.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like that's a political stunt, like everything Trump has done the last 3 weeks. With this caravan.
He posted a picture on his Twitter saying sanctions are coming, and it's like in the same likeness of Game of Thrones, where it's like winter is coming.
I mean, I told you, man. Trump. I don't know. Is Trump scared of what's going to happen on Tuesday, or what?
I think so.
I don't
know. I mean, because it depends. Like, I feel like people are gonna. I can only imagine what our next turn is going to be, because, like we've said, it's always going to be like every president is always like a switch over, because things are so good or so bad that we got to go for basically the polar opposite end. So like we had Clinton, and then that shit was so crazy that we had to go the other way. So we had Bush, and then Bush was so goddamn bad that we had to go Obesus, and Obesus was so great or whatever that we had to go to Trump.
We don't know how good Obama was.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, just in general, like, things are so one thing that we got to go the complete other opposite direction.
Right, but...
More than that, I wouldn't even say good or bad, like, so Democratic that we got to go, like, super Republican now or whatever. So now I can only wonder, like, where the fuck are we going to go from here?
Well, see, that's the thing. So the Democrats are being heavily predicted to take back control of the House of Representatives.
Right, like this with this election?
Yes. Like on Tuesday, like, the Republicans are going to lose a lot of seats in the House.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's being said. And the Republicans
that ought to be interesting.
The Republicans are still going to keep control of the Senate probably, and then you have a Republican executive branch, and now you're going to have a Republican judicial branch with Kavanaugh being a judge now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many laws Trump is going to be able to pass now, because if it goes to the House and they just vote down everything Trump does, then nothing gets passed.
Right. So then these next 2 years are stagnant.
Right, which is not a great thing, but it's also not a bad thing.
Right.
Because that means that Trump really can't do anything worse.
Right.
Possibly, right. So I don't know, man. I just, I went to early vote and, submitted my vote for Stacey Abrams.
Same. I did absentee ballot because I will be out of town on
election day.
On election day, so I sent in that yesterday afternoon, actually.
But just stand there, and I just I like to observe when I stand in line.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a lot of old people voting.
Old what's though?
The old people in general, but it was a lot of old white people.
Okay.
A lot more women.
Mm-hmm.
than I remember seeing in 2012.
Yeah.
Last time I voted. Few more minorities, not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that many young people though, so that's not a great sign for the Democrats, especially in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Damn, really? Even with Stacey in there, you see a bunch of. And at least when you went,
we gonna get Stacey.
Okay.
We that's how we're gonna end this. We're gonna end this bad boy with Stacey.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's I'm definitely gonna be interested.
Yeah, I will for sure be paying attention to what.
I'll be watching the CNN with that dude be on the map.
Yeah, CNN, is that gonna be?
I want to buy one of those in my house.
Is that Tuesday? Like,
yeah.
Are we gonna be watching a live Tuesday? Yeah, because I will happily, because that's not a workout day for me.
The polls close at what, like 5?
Okay, yeah, that's not a workout day for me, so I will happily just go to my room and watch that for the evening, and that'd probably be one of the first times outside of the election. That'll be the only time where I've sat there and just watched, how the votes fall, because this was actually super important.
Yeah, I mean, I've always found
much more important than ones have been in like the past.
Yeah,
really.
I'll be switching back and forth between that and college basketball.
College basketball.
Kentucky Duke comes on at 9:30.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna be up till midnight.
I want to see Zion fly, and I want to see what is it, RJ
Barrett.
RJ Barrett, trying to see what.
RJ Barrett is actually Maple Jordan. They thought it was Wiggins.
Nah,
it ain't Wiggins.
Well, RJ is way better. RJ can shoot like shit too.
Nah. Not quite.
He can't shoot.
Not quite, but
He is better though.
I mean, let's keep up with the Republican propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
So pipe bombs were sent to Democrats, Obama, Clinton.
Actually, I believe I have a list.
Some House of Representatives. All the people that Trump really go after in these rally speeches.
Let me.
They all got pipe bombs sent.
I will happily find my list of all
it was
of
somebody
the people.
in Florida. It was somebody in California, and somebody in Virginia, and then it was a huge donor that lived in New York, and it was sent to CNN.
Yeah, it was definitely sent to somebody at CNN for sure. Let me see. Damn, where's the tab at?
I don't know. I had a theory on that while you look.
Yes, I got it. Okay,
here we go.
The people that we got, it is former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. We got former U.S. President Barack Obama, CNN and former CIA Director John Brennan.
Mm-hmm. We've
got the former Vice President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Billionaire philanthropist and financier George Soros.
That's what it was. Yeah.
U.S. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And
from where?
She is Florida.
Florida. Okay.
She was and former Attorney General Eric Holder.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
She's from California, correct?
She is.
It's either California or Virginia.
I forget. We shall look that up right now. Let us hit the intranet. Yes, California, 43rd Congressional District since 2013.
Okay.
Where is it? Actor Robert De Niro.
De Niro.
Yes.
Okay, that's weird.
Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper.
Yeah.
And U.S. Senator Cory Booker.
Where is he from?
He is New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So all of these people conveniently have all been publicly admonished by Trump in his rally speeches. I'm not accusing Trump of having anything to do with this.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean,
you wouldn't put it past him?
Oh no. Because think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this happens how long before Election Day? Like
this been happening for the
2
past
weeks.
2-3 weeks.
This happened 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right before Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, near. Trump comes out and was like, hey, it's terrible. Right? It's terrible what has happened.
They will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Right. Yeah. We're going to launch an investigation. We're going to figure out who did this. Right?
Terrible.
But wouldn't put it past him to be somebody that went from America. Immigration policy. They're probably in the caravan right now. Coming over here. I wouldn't be surprised if Monday they've arrested the guy who sent these pipe bombs, because they already knew who did it.
I mean, they've already made some arrests, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've already. So now, what does that look like? Oh, Trump and the FBI and all these, they're the heroes. See, Trump keeps me safe.
At least one person was arrested. They said on Friday that one person has been arrested. At least one person.
And Election Day is on Tuesday.
And they think they're focusing on Florida because they believe that's where some of the packages originated.
Mm-hmm. And what's close to Florida? A border. A border.
What? A border. So you believe some Cubans or something sitting?
No, I believe that might be the narrative.
Oh,
because
you think
Trump
that
is on this immigration run?
So they're gonna spin it as this was an immigrant.
This guy wasn't from America. These are illegal immigrants that are doing this.
Yes, they're stealing our jobs.
Trump keeps me safe. I have to now vote Republican because Trump is gonna keep me safe.
Damn. That would be a hell of a spin. I don't think that's going to save him.
It might not save, but I think that it'll say it could do enough so that the Democrats
don't get the overwhelming majority.
Right. They don't just, the blue wave doesn't just do that. So I mean that could be, I mean I wouldn't be surprised to happen. Right?
I feel it.
So from CNN to Fox News. Whole Megyn Kelly.
Hey Megan, how you doing?
You're unemployed,
dumbass.
Now, the rumor is that this was her leaving Fox News was in the works prior to her comments about blackface.
They just said no, we won't let you leave. We'll fire you.
Yeah. They said we just give her a little time. She'll mess up.
Right. Did she mess up?
Yeah, she said blackface was okay as long as it's on Halloween. It's in a costume.
Laws.
Now, as a black man
myself as well,
I find it difficult to be like super duper upset with what she said.
Okay.
Now, of course, I don't want people coming up to my house dressed as blackface asking for candy.
Right.
But if it's in a costume,
okay.
a tasteless
costume.
Which I mean, those do exist.
You gonna dress up as a gangster?
If you dress up as Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder for some reason. Like, I can't be like, super mad at you.
And I still can't believe we didn't get him out to pay for that.
Oh,
by the way.
because the first Iron Man movie was amazing.
Right.
Like,
I cannot believe
did you see that house?
Not getting out of
No,
the paint.
sir. I'm not getting him out of the paint
one.
for that. Nope. He was too good in the first Iron Man movie.
It was a great movie, but my nigga.
So that's what.
What do you mean?
So
you
like
people?
that's so like. Does so like does the whole racism thing, is it now spewing into Halloween? That we're now limiting the ability of people to dress up in whatever way they want?
But here's the thing. How many costumes are out there where you need to be in blackface?
That is true.
How many of them are there?
I agree.
And those costumes, if we're being objective, those are trash costumes.
Yes.
So how can we sit there and say we're limiting that? But what are we limiting? What are we limiting?
I mean, I get your argument.
That's what I'm saying.
The only thing that we're really limiting are the trash costumes.
I mean, but not even like what costumes will require blackface. Can you name any to me right now?
What costumes would require blackface? I don't know
that aren't racist.
I don't know the first thing about costumes.
If you're a white man or woman or whatever, not black, and you decide that you want to dress up as a rapper,
okay,
you can very easily be that rapper without blackface. Yes, you can.
No,
if Lil Timmy wants to be the Migos, you could very easily go and dress up as Lil Timmy and his two Migos wants to dress up as the Migos. You could very easily do that without being in blackface. We'll even let you get the dread wig.
So are you saying that if a white person wanted to dress up as a black person and did all of the stereotypical things, that somebody wouldn't say that that's racially insensitive?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, if they want to go get the tattoos in stencil.
Okay.
And they want to go get the dreads. And they want to go get the fake grill. And they want to go get the chains.
I mean, it's for Halloween, yes. But blackface, though?
I hear you. But what
you can do all of those other, because all of those other things are black. Are not blackface type things.
No, We've
seen white people with dreads before. So, like,
I haven't.
I've definitely seen white people with dreads before. That's a
With
thing.
no nigga dreads.
That with no nigga dreads.
I don't think a white person can pull off, can get their natural dreads and be takeoff.
I mean, they ain't got dreadlocks per se. No, but I've seen white folks with dreads. I understand. Yes, you could do that for Halloween, but blackface.
Right, but what I'm saying is, are you saying that the black community as a whole wouldn't look at that and say, all right, like, that's racially insensitive? Like, of all the costumes, you're going to go, of all the rappers, you couldn't come as Mac Miller or Eminem or Asher Roth. Like, black people would still say that, right?
Now that I could agree with that point.
So
some people
that's why I'm not super duper mad. Like, of course, no, I don't want anybody dressing up as blackface. I don't care if you're black. I don't want you dressing up as blackface.
Right. I don't be. Yes.
Like, I'm light skinned. I don't think blackface will work on me.
Right.
Like, even if I'm like, I would if somebody black punched me in my face for me wearing blackface on my Halloween costume, I would take the punch.
Right.
There's nothing I could do about it.
Hey.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, I mean, we're talking about Halloween here.
I understand that.
Like, so I mean, that just go ahead and get into what I say about. I don't think anybody older than the age of 12 should be dressing up for Halloween anyway.
I feel you.
So we can avoid things like this. Show me a 12-year-old that's like, hey, Mom, can I go get some blackface for my Halloween costume? 12-year-olds ain't even thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, these are some grown people that are doing this.
Right.
And why are you dressing up in the first place?
Also,
stop that right there.
When it comes to Halloween, hey, just a random side note, let these kids be what the fuck they want to be for Halloween.
Unless it's blackface.
I mean, unless it's blackface. Don't let them do that. But, you know, like, y'all be trying to dress up these kids as rappers and shit. These kids don't know who the fuck they are. They want to be fucking Spider-Man. She wants to be a fairy. Why are you dressing her up as Nicki Minaj?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
She wants to be Tinkerbell. Let the bitch be Tinkerbell. I'm sorry, not the bitch. Let the child be Tinkerbell. trying to dress up as fucking Iggy Azalea. She clearly wants to be the Little Mermaid. Let her be the Little Mermaid.
How do you dress up as Iggy Azalea?
I don't know.
Cause she got a big mole right there.
How
do you get the mole?
You just gotta go. You know they got like makeup shit where you can go draw in a mole.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can go draw in a beauty mark.
Yeah, that's not a beauty mark. That's just a mole.
This is a big mole.
that ain't it right there.
But yeah.
So, like, do you think she should get fired for that? Like, is
saying blackface is okay?
If it's Halloween. Like is that unemployment worthy right there?
It's not okay.
I mean, no, it's not. I mean, but like, are we firing her because she said something that was just racially incorrect? Like, no, it's not okay. Like, I don't even know who gave you the authority to say whether or not it was okay or not.
Right, but she's also had a long history of saying shit like that before.
So then this was just like the final straw.
Yeah, because she's went along the lines of said certain things like Santa Claus has to be a white man, like he's white, get over it. She said things along the lines of.
I mean, yeah, but that's not factually incorrect. Santa Claus is
historically
has
been a white man.
It is in no way possible could they say that Santa Claus is a black man.
I mean, well, yeah, obviously not.
I mean, I don't see a black man letting on somebody's roof, sliding down the chimney and giving stuff away.
And getting away with it?
Right, that... Come on, dog.
Sounds pretty charitable and white to me.
On,
anyway,
like,
I mean, she said, some comments about Jesus only being a white...
The North Pole?
Right, she said things about Jesus only being a white man as well, and things of that sort. And
I hate when people do that about Jesus.
What? Try to make him a person, a person of color or whatever, or anything like that? No,
I don't like. Nobody really knows what So by the time they started painting pictures of Jesus, everybody who had ever seen Jesus had died.
They started the picture of Jesus is from some old Italian empire.
Right, but I'm saying the person who painted that picture had never seen Jesus before.
No.
So
they
don't
painted
know.
it based off of like the son of an Italian family.
But like nobody knows what Jesus actually looks like.
Right.
There's no physical description of what Jesus is like in the Bible.
Right.
Unless you want to talk about he's got hair of gold and he looks like a lion, like the imagery that is associated with that.
Right. So people have had to like piece it together scientifically by saying, hey, he was in the Middle East. So he probably had darker skin because he was in the Middle East, burning up in the sun and shit. And then people were just like, but this picture of Jesus is clearly a white man and all this other type shit. The point is, Megan has been on that side of things, so she's made comments like this before.
No, I mean, like I say, if this was a final straw thing, then like I'm cool with it. They say that they've been in talks about her getting her up out of there. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm not a Megyn Kelly fan.
No, I mean,
I'm just saying that, like, as we get closer to the end here, we'll talk about that when we get to the governor race.
Okay.
So Fox News to, speak blackface to lynching.
Jesus Christ.
Danye Jones.
Jesus.
Was allegedly, which is more than allegedly, like, basically he was lynched. They killed this nigga. They hung him.
Lynched Danye Jones. And the most disturbing part about it is that the police at first weren't even going to investigate it. And they said it was a suicide. And now they're investigating it as a suicide. But all of the things that have gone on with this make no sense. Right. Like, they're saying, I believe they said he had like a bag that he was going to be like going to spend the night somewhere, like on his porch that night. They saying that from the pictures that his pants were rolled down, hanging from the tree. I mean, why the hell would he do that? Why would he have a bag to be going to stay in the night somewhere?
Let's just stop all the noise right there. First of all, they said it was a bed sheet that they had wrapped around his neck. Mm-hmm. Where you going where you need a bed sheet?
Also, that they said his mom said that he didn't own those bed sheets. Like those weren't his.
And he also had bruises on his face.
Right. So he had a knot on his forehead.
Right. If you're gonna hang yourself, the first thing about hanging yourself is you don't punch yourself in the face before you hang yourself.
Right.
I don't think that's.
I don't
in the
even
protocol.
think you would physically be possible to just knot your own head. I feel like your body would physically react to make you not want to do that unless you're fucking insane.
No, you can get past that.
You can get past that.
You get past that.
But even
and
then,
they
like,
said it was a chair. So you telling me that the guy went in his own house, got his bed sheets, got a chair,
that he didn't know.
got a chair, went outside after punching himself in the head, and hung himself.
And they also said, I mean, there's part of the larger conspiracy. He had just bought property in the area. I think he was going to be renting it out in the area or something like that. Some shit.
Right. So I mean, so what was he doing? He was trying to get a better deal. Like, what? I don't
know.
like. That doesn't make any sense at all. So they hung this person, and his mom was an activist for the Michael Brown shooting. Is that
Ferguson?
correct? Yeah, I mean, I don't really see what part of the protocol from the police
Would make them say, "Oh, we're not going to even investigate this. This is a suicide," and then still investigate it, but as a suicide, even with all of these different things. Like his pants were rolled down, not pulled down, rolled down. So he took the time to roll his pants down. Really now. He had a bag that he was going to be spending the night elsewhere. He bought property in the area to rent it out to make money. He was hung with a bed sheet that he didn't own. I mean...
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that this dude lived by himself, right? So I don't know how his mom... How would his mom know that he didn't own those bed sheets?
I mean, if you're a mom, you probably were involved with the moving and helping to shop for this new home. My baby got a new home. So this all theory, this all conjecture, by the way. But like this mom, it doesn't sound like she was just like absent. Like she was involved in his life.
I mean that's all of that. All of that sounds great. Like that's valid.
So it's just like if I was right there helping him move in, and I get to the scene, and I notice, oh, he was hanging from this sheet. I ain't never seen those sheets before.
Right. I mean, but
so unless he just bought those,
that's what I'm saying. I'm putting it in myself. Like my mom has no. I live at home, and my mom doesn't know what bed sheets I have on my bed.
Right.
But I mean that makes sense. If I'm helping my son move,
right,
I'm gonna know what his bed sheets look like. That makes sense. Yeah. So I mean we can get to the other two topics, and then I'll come back to kind of a more somber but larger picture.
Also, he didn't have a suicide note or anything?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's so many things that are just like, this is not, like, why would he have an overnight bag?
I mean,
like,
like I said,
none of that makes sense. None of that is lining up with what would be is a suicide.
I mean, but at the same time, I can understand like the like very initial, like, okay, we haven't even gotten to the crime scene yet. We just know that there's a person hanging. The first thought is suicide. But then once you get there, at some point somebody's got to say, this is more like a murder. Like let's just send the more junior people just in case this is murder.
Right.
Like I don't know, man.
I mean, it just doesn't. It just logically, it just doesn't make sense.
Nope, does not.
So yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna quickly mention the synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh. I don't really have a ton to say about that.
Me neither. Other than when the fuck are we going to actually do something about these gun issues or mental health issues or whatever other issue that people keep claiming is the actual issue? When are we going to do something about whatever leads up to these instances? That's my only question anytime I hear about any of these. If we say one side saying it's a gun issue, other side saying a mental health issue, all I know is nothing has been done at all. So something's got to be done somewhere.
Well, I mean, you can't do anything with either one of those.
So
like I keep trying to tell people, guns is just gonna be guns.
Guns are gonna be there.
Like y'all not gonna sit here and try to take away people's guns. Like, if I want to go buy a gun, I can go get a gun.
Very easily too.
Like, it's not anything that you can do to stop me from getting a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have mental health issues, obviously, I mean, I can't make people not have mental health issues.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey.
So I mean, it's just, I don't know, but I got a bigger picture on that too. Now let's go ahead and talk about the hometown governor race. And both of these candidates are just. I mean, the reason I'll be honest with you. The reason I voted for Stacey Abrams is because I didn't like Brian Kemp's campaign.
Right.
Because I mean,
His whole campaign was smearing her.
I'm not a huge believer in Stacey Abrams, the politician, because I read all of her policies before I decided to vote for her, and I watched the gubernatorial debate, and if I ask you a question and the first thing you talk about is what somebody else said, that means you don't have nothing to say, and that was Brian Kemp's whole thing. So it was like,
no, he's literally his entire campaign has been smearing her. That's all his campaign has been.
I mean, I don't have anything else to say. So and then the other dude
he was there.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about because I don't know what happened. But he doesn't have a right ear.
I'm not going to speak.
I'm not
not going to speak on that.
No, I don't want to speak on it either.
I mean, but you mentioned it.
But I'm just saying, if you gotta blow me away with your policies. If you missing an ear,
you're terrible.
I'm dead serious. I researched the guy's policies. He's all into the hemp. Everything he thinks hemp is a solution to everything. I disagree, so I'm not voting for him.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with him missing an ear. But I'm just saying that I can't look at him on TV without noticing that one of his ears is missing.
This is awful.
I don't know why, but the guy doesn't have a right ear. Has nothing to do with his ability as a politician.
Fuck.
All right.
Okay.
So now we get into Brian Kemp and Stacey Abrams. They both of them have many controversies that aren't actually controversies. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp. And the whole voter suppression allegation that he's suppressing voters, which isn't 100% accurate. But nevertheless, Stacey Abrams' camp has kind of capitalized on that.
I mean, she did work on a lawsuit that was brought up to him before she even started as being the front runner for governor. She was working on it. He's been in this lawsuit long before. Just now,
right?
This has been a thing.
But let's get to voter suppression and the voter laws to begin with.
Right.
Because I'm gonna make a couple points here, and
I believe the lawsuit was based on making the voting process unduly difficult for minorities and immigrants.
Right, and I understand that, and I don't think that means that it's voter suppression. I just think that the way that the law is in place is to track what happens to these voters. Because people move. You move, your voting district changes.
Right.
I have to keep track of all those changes. So if there's not an exact match, maybe it doesn't have to exactly match Beyonce Knowles Carter if it doesn't have the hyphen. Okay, that's a little extreme. But I don't think the intent of the law is to suppress minority voters. I just think that's an unintended consequence of it. Just like when we talked about when I gave the Me Too movement incomplete and you were like, incomplete? The cop out. And I said, well, there were some unintended consequences that came along with all of the potential good that the Me Too movement did. That's not anyone's fault. That's just
That's just the fact.
That's just iteration 1 of the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that the voter laws themselves weren't. I don't think the intent was to say, okay, we are trying to stop people from voting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what ended up happening.
Okay.
So then now we get into the controversy that's really not a controversy. There's a photo of Stacey Abrams burning the flag of Georgia.
Well, being
in 92.
at the
Well, I mean,
protest.
yeah, they showed the video and she was right there. She was there
with the devil eyes on.
She was there.
She was there.
And of
Happily.
course they tried to spin. They tried to spin that a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And
that has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
now, but this is the question that I had to ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people try to act like the Civil War didn't exist in the South?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I think we spoke about this before in Tennessee, where like anything that has anything to do with the Confederacy, people want to have ripped down.
Oh, I think it was mainly just because. Well, one, if I'm gonna be like completely technical, like symbols of the Confederacy are symbols of treason.
Okay.
Simply because of they weren't a part of the United States, and then they lost the war, but they still wanted to blah 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 blah, and then the Civil War happened and they lost. So now it's like, oh, if you still affiliate with them, then you're a symbol of treason. Cool. Now on the social side, it is also a symbol of racism. Just because of that was the entire point of the Civil War, because even though people try to say that the Civil War was over states' rights, a lot of people don't know. Read the fact. Oh, I'm going to drop these bars on y'all. The constitutions of the Union and the Confederacy were actually the exact same, except for the one part about owning slaves. Mm-hmm. That is literally it is word for word the exact same, except for that part.
Okay.
So that's what the war was over. And because people were just like, okay, this is what the Confederacy was standing for, it is a symbol of racism, and that cannot stand. That's why people try to tear down these Confederate monuments.
I hear you.
Right?
So then I'll give you...
That's just the reasoning.
Right, so I'll
yeah.
give you another, one of the more comedic examples
Mm-hmm.
that has something similar to do with the point that I'm about to make.
Mm-hmm.
Is you remember when they put the dark dude in the H&M monkey hoodie?
Yes. Coolest monkey in the jungle. I remember that shit.
And we came here and we talked about it, and we both said that we didn't think the intent of that was to be racist.
Right.
But because
it was stupid.
Right, because it ended up being so blatantly
racist.
Like, good Lord, are you serious? That we had that superseded the intent. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So I see a similar thing with the whole Confederacy thing, right?
How so?
Because the Civil War was, yes, about slavery, but there's another side to the Civil War. It's the people in the North who fought against slavery. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe they didn't mean to, because it wasn't like niggas was kings up north.
Right.
But their intent was, we're fighting, or even if their intent wasn't, we're fighting to free slaves, that was the action. Mm-hmm. Right?
Wait. So, wait.
So, I'm talking about that you have Union Confederacy, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm saying the Civil War is about the Confederacy wanting to own slaves, but it's also about the Union fighting to not have slavery in the United States.
Oh, okay.
Right? So even though that's probably wasn't their intent in 1865, that's not their rallying cry. We're fighting to free niggas.
Okay.
the action has to supersede the intent, correct?
Okay, yeah.
So why can't the Civil War? You're saying that all of these monuments are a symbol of racism.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they not be a symbol of overcoming racism? And saying that, okay, even these people are fighting, like there are people who wanted us to be slaves, but there are also people who wanted us to be free, who fought and defeated these people for us to be free.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
And I'll tell you why don't nobody do that. I'll tell you why. Because it goes back to what I said earlier, that we held on. And here's why I opened it up.
Okay. You open it up, the Pandora's box.
Because we're talking about everybody living their own truth.
Okay.
What does that mean? Can somebody explain to me what that means? Because I like to use words.
As do I.
I like to understand what words mean. I take the meaning of words individually and I collect them together, add a little context in, and I get to understand what a sentence means. Mm-hmm. That's how we were taught to read.
Mm-hmm. All of your own volition.
I'm living my truth.
Okay.
I know what that means. That's subject. A contraction. I am. So that's what you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. Living. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what you are doing.
Verb.
Right?
Okay.
My truth.
Subject.
Let's talk about this right here. Mm-hmm. So when you say my truth, if something is mine, mm-hmm. that means I own it.
Right.
It's not yours. It's mine.
It is mine. Selfish. Okay.
So you own truth?
Okay.
Huh? Like that's what you're telling me. When you come out of the closet as gay, which is how I've seen it most being used, mm-hmm. or when anybody is deciding to do whatever they want to do, they say it's because I'm living my truth. Mm-hmm. You don't own truth. Let me tell you why you don't own truth. Because your truth might be that the sky outside is blue.
It's clearly blue, yeah, with white clouds. Mm-hmm. It's
now,
a beautiful day out.
If my truth is the sky outside is green,
well, you might be colorblind, but
I might be colorblind. But that's my truth, though. You can't tell me what my truth is. Right?
I actually ran into that situation a few weeks ago where I was looking at a dude. I was playing basketball with this dude, and I was asked him who got next, and I was like, "It's me, you." He said, "It's me, you, and the guy in the blue over there," and I was like, "There's nobody in blue over there," and then he was like, "That dude," and I was like, "What dude?" And I was like, and I pointed out, I was like, "Oh, that purple." And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, are you colorblind?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm colorblind." I was like, "Oh, okay, it all makes sense now. My bad. All right, me, you, and him, cool."
But that's what I'm saying. So if you say, if your truth
was that it was purple
and his truth
was that it was blue, well, they're both true. I mean,
well, so no, but I'm saying, who owns? Because there's only one truth. It was purple. Right. The fact that he's colorblind, it distorted his vision of the truth. Right. Somebody's got to be wrong.
Right.
So that means somebody's truth is actually not true, which means you don't own it.
True.
So
true. Okay.
Right. So I keep trying to say there's a war on truth because everybody thinks that they own truth. No, you don't.
The truth is a collection of facts. That is what that is.
Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and it may even be unprofessional at times.
And it may be based in different facts.
But nobody is entitled to their own facts.
No, they are.
That's what truth is. You are not entitled to distort the facts that you... I understand that you are gay. Mm-hmm. That is not your truth.
That is the truth.
The truth is that you like the same sex.
Okay.
How somebody reacts to that
is their opinion.
It's not their truth, though. Because if their truth intercepts your truth, mm-hmm. somebody's wrong.
So I'm living in the truth, and I'm living in my opinion of the truth.
Why do we keep saying my truth? Just say I'm living my life.
Ah.
And you're living your life.
You own that. You own that wholeheartedly.
I'm the only one that has that. So we get to the Stacey Abrams thing, and we get to the Civil War. People act like, I don't like when people try to act like the bad stuff didn't exist and you bring the good stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The truth is, because you have the white people that say the Confederate flag is a symbol of Southern pride.
Right.
That is their truth.
Yes.
And your truth completely disagrees with that.
Yes.
No, it is not. What you're saying right now is not true.
It is false.
What it actually is a symbol of treason and racism and slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's got to be wrong there.
Right.
You don't see the conflict?
Yes. I see the conflict exactly.
So if that person just says, I see the Confederacy as a symbol of Southern pride and you see it as racism, well, we can agree to disagree on what it means.
Right.
That doesn't make you racist. That doesn't make you pro-South. That doesn't make you pro-slavery,
right.
which is normally what it ends up being.
Right.
Right?
Even though most of the people, in my experience, who
are all three.
Are all three.
Absolutely. But
yes.
that has nothing to do with their truth.
Right. That has to do something to do with their opinion.
Right. So I wish people would get past the point that you cannot have the good. It goes back to what we said earlier about these women out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't want something without giving something up.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have good unless you have bad.
Yes.
It all comes together. You cannot have the United States without the Civil War. You cannot have the Civil Rights Movement without the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have any of the positive things that you're talking about when it comes to the Black freedom struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panthers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black nationalism. None of that happens unless the Civil War happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a place. Now, what your interpretation of that place is can differ from me to you, or from black to white, or from Georgia to Mississippi, or from South Carolina to Florida. I don't care where it is.
Mm-hmm. But those are all opinions.
But the point is, like, we can always disagree on opinions.
Right. Right.
But we can't disagree on the truth. Because it's not yours, mine, or anyone else's.
It is the truth.
The truth.
It is innate. It exists on its own.
Exactly. Like the synagogue shooting. Mm-hmm. If somebody's truth is that it's mental illness that's causing all of this, and somebody's truth is that it's gun control, well, one of y'all got to be wrong.
Right.
Because you can't have two truths.
Right. At least one. Because it could be both of y'all.
There's always, why they say it's three sides to a story. Because it's your version, it's my version, and then it's what actually happened.
Yes.
Why can't we get to that as a society? Just say, you know what? Let's search for what the truth is. Mm-hmm. Let's not be satisfied with my truth. Mm-hmm. Because my truth is an oxymoron. It doesn't exist.
True.
Because you're making yourself higher than you should be by thinking that you own whatever slither of the truth is out there. You don't own it.
True that.
The answers are not residing in your head. Mm-hmm. Not residing in my head. Mm-hmm. But I'm real enough to say...
Mm-hmm. What you real enough to say?
That I'm looking for the truth. I'm looking for the truth.
At all times.
That's why this show is called Unprofessional Opinion, because we know that we're not professionals. We're not claiming to have all of the answers. Mm-hmm. We're claiming that we the only ones out here that's looking. What y'all looking for?
Right.
That's how I want to end this. Right there.
So on that note, I am AJ. This is my man JC. This is the Unprofessional Opinion Podcast. He just mic dropped. He's hype. We'll catch y'all on the block, man.